And hello and welcome to the CBC podcast, the TV edition of the week. Essentially, we're going to be talking about TV stuff. I'm Joe, that's Mitch, over across the internet. You can follow us on Twitter, Halftime Joe, Mitch692. You can also follow CBC, Comic Book Cast, on anything, really. We have various social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm pretty sure we're in some of the most wild places you can think of. Like Discord. Discord's pretty wild. Twitter's pretty wild.
It's just like wild than Discord, like really? No.
I mean, I think Discord's pretty wild. But essentially, if you want to find anything CBC related, just Google Comic Book Cast. Because it's the easiest thing. Telling you right now, if you just go to Google Comic Book Cast, you'll find everything you need. Like, hey, what's your Twitter? Google Comic Book Cast. Hey, what's the Facebook? Google Comic Book Cast. It's pretty much the easiest thing you can do instead of just giving us.
I mean, to be fair, if someone
names.
actually just straight up asks that, you just go comic book cast.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Just also Google us. Just say that. But in case you're wondering, if there is a piece of news you see in the description that you don't like or that you do like and you want to skip ahead, skip around, whatever you want to do, jump around, as the song would always say. Timestamps.
Get down.
Exactly. Timestamps are in the description for YouTube and any of the podcasting services such as SoundCloud and anything, iTunes, anything out there that you listen to podcasts on. You can find us out there. And
except Spotify.
Timestamps, though, for YouTube, you can click on them and it'll skip to it automatically. For any other podcasting services, what sucks is you won't be able to. Like, you just have to find the timestamp and then go. Huh?
We need the timestamp comment guy. They just post the timestamps in the comments so we can pin it.
Comments of what? Like,
on the YouTube.
Why? They're in the description. Like,
yeah, I know. People always put the timestamps in the comments because reasons,
but they only put it in the comments because there isn't one in the description. Like, trust me,
people are lazy to go in the description.
No, trust me. Every time like I've seen somebody post a comment timestamps, it's because nobody has put it anywhere. Like the people who put it, like make the show. Like it's not in the description. It's not in the comment. We could put it in the comments if you want. Like I'm just saying.
I'm just saying we just need to.
It's in the description, and I mean we have the timestamp, so it's like. All you have to do is just click the description thing. It's right there. Just click on the thing.
We actually have timestamp comment guy in chat right now. Shout out. You did a service.
But yeah, maybe we'll actually we'll post the timestamps in there and just pin them or whatever because it would be easier. I think usually every time I see somebody post timestamps, the comments is because the people who make the show don't put timestamps at all, like for anything. So good thing is we do. You just look in the description and you'll find the timestamps there. And like I said, for podcasting services, you won't be able to click on them. You just kind of got to go to the time they're at. And I don't think there's anything else to remind people of other than, of course, the shows are as normal. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. There's no cons, anything like in terms of like we're going to be streaming. Or I don't think Armin's going to a con this week.
No, con season's finished now.
I just don't think there's anything in general like. Well, I mean, it's not finished. There's other cons, but
is there?
They're smaller. I
mean, I think the next big one is the Brazil one because that's kind of like.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's cons, but they're not like the big ones, like a San Diego, New York, and all that. Besides, if we're to count that, con season probably ended in October, right? Because New York.
Yeah.
I just don't. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything else to mention. Do you have anything?
No.
Okay, then we have nothing to mention then.
We're all good to go.
So, we will get started with the first piece of news, which is going to be talking about The Walking Dead and how it is getting expanded into a movie, but not movie in the terms of it'll be in the theater. It'll still be a movie that'll be showing on AMC.
Yeah. It's a TV movie, not a theatrical movie.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So essentially, yeah, that. And so, of course, everybody heard about the news that the dude who plays, Rick Grimes, Andrew Lincoln, was stepping away from the show, and people were like, "Oh, what's gonna happen?" There's actually some Walking Dead fans who were like, "I don't know if I'm gonna keep up with the show. The only reason I wanted is because Rick, he was the character I've been with the longest and stuff like that, and I cared about the most." And now, I think the thing is they're gonna do a time jump in the show, and in the movies, it's gonna be, have regular Andrew Lincoln. Like he's not gonna be like it's not gonna be a time jump compared to the show.
No,
So
no.
that's the thing. Let's see. Is there anything else specific about this that? Let's see.
What about those 3 movies that he's doing?
Yeah.
Um, I'm not 100% to be honest. I don't think much info has been brought out about them. It's just a way to carry on his story, and I can't remember the other character or actress's name that's going to be in it as well. But they've also signed Norman Reedus and is it Denai Guerrero? Is that how you say her name?
You mean the girl who plays Michonne? Yeah, the one from
one from Black Panther.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The one from Black Panther.
Yeah, yeah. The name it is Denai Guerrero, isn't it? No.
Yeah.
Like her and Norman Reedus have signed on for I think I'm not sure if it's their own movies as well, but it's just like universe franchise.
Where's that one? Because all I see is
I put the link in.
I know. I'm looking at both of them. I see Norman Reedus and Melissa McBride, who plays Carol, have both signed on to do bigger.
I swear they mentioned Denai Guerrero in the article.
No, all I see is Norman Reedus, Melissa McBride, who plays Daryl and Carol respectively. They both sign new contracts, yada yada, and have options to appear on the movies and stuff like that.
Why did I? Oh no, I think it's Denai Guerrero's hoping to do it. I'm certain they mentioned the name in there.
Yeah, but the people who signed the contracts are Norman and Melissa, because I don't see. Where do they mention her name? Damn.
Have I just actually had a massive case of the dumb? I think I might.
Well, no, it just says right here. Meanwhile, in the first paragraph, breakout star, the girl from the woman from Walking Dead, she's in negotiations with AMC for a similar pack. She hasn't signed on officially. She's negotiating certain aspects about her deal, stuff like that. Which get your money. But
fun fact, guys, read the article. don't make my mistake. Even though I kind of glanced over, I just didn't know.
Yeah, so this is kind of a big deal in a sense that it's
a big deal, but it's a weird decision. It wasn't like 3 weeks ago they were saying that their viewers have their ratings have drastically dropped, and they're just like, is this gonna get people back? I think it will.
I don't follow a lot of Walking Dead fans. I think only 2 people out of the people I follow probably keep up with the show and kind of still like it, but I think more people I follow dislike the show, and it's just the same thing of this is a way to keep a show alive for a show that's dying, and of course it is. I mean, I'm sure they're thinking like, our show's dying, what's a way to keep it up? Like, and I think
it's a weird choice to have, like, because they're kind of bragging about the budget. They're like, oh, it's going big budget, feature length, and it's just like, is this the smartest idea? Like, what about actually mixing the show to get people back?
I don't know what people's biggest problem with The Walking Dead was, because in a way, like, some people would say, like, oh, they should focus on zombies and, killing zombies and fighting zombies. And then some other people said they should just, make the zombies as a background and try to have personal stories. But I don't really know what people's actual problems. I haven't watched the show in a while, but I'm very curious what people's actual problems were the show. Like, I just don't know.
I think people's biggest problems with the show is that it's just rinse and repeat every season.
I mean, sure. That's a lot of people's problems with a lot of shows, right? Like, some shows just, like, except for The Flash. The Flash just kept repeating a lot of the same stuff. But, with that aside, like, was it that there wasn't enough zombies, or was that there not enough personal stories? Because I think they did a mix of both, and they tried to appease both, and every time they did one, the other type of people would hate on it, and when they did the other type of people, I don't know. I just don't see. I mean, I guess I could see the way the show lasts for 15 seasons, but at the same time, I think some people would have preferred it like a closed 5-thing story, 5-season story. But it also seems like it could just be like a day in the life of people fighting zombies, in a zombie-infested world. It's one of those things where it could have went both ways, and I think it went more so the other way that some people were hoping for. But
probably.
It really could, like, this whole like procedural type of storytelling for Walking Dead really could work too, in my opinion. I don't know. I haven't watched it in a while, so I don't really know where it's at in terms of story. Let's see.
Probably the same place you left off at.
Well, no, but in terms of like who's like the villain now or something, I doubt it's still, because the guy is not on the show anymore, so I doubt it's still him.
Yeah. I mean, apparently the Walkers are talking now. Spoilers. So maybe they're gonna get smart enough to be proper villains. So.
But wait, has the comic in it? No, right? Because the guy Robert Kirkman said he had an ending for it, right?
Yeah, I think he's ending it soon.
Yeah,
I remember him saying something about that.
that lasted a long time.
But the show's wildly deviated from that anyway.
And you know that at that point, I was okay with that because then at the same time, you know, it's.
I mean, it's fair. It's
You know,
no,
Game of Thrones
it's fair.
technically deviated from because
Yeah,
you know there's
yeah.
no more story to tell.
Yeah.
So let's see. I'm trying to see if there's anything else specifically about other than the fact that just their deals are there.
It's an interesting move for them to make, especially with just with the whole we've lost like X amount of millions of people watching, even though we had like 60 million people watching. It's just like, is this the right idea? We'll find out. It's just something different for TV to do.
Okay,
I'd like to know why they don't think it would survive in like theaters because
you know the one that apparently people are very like actually more into is Fear the Walking Dead. I hear Fear the Walking Dead is actually better than The Walking Dead.
I don't hear anyone talk about that anymore.
Well, I only hear that who are people into, you know, The Walking Dead stuff, and those people say Fear is actually way better than the regular Walking Dead.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I think the difference is because they try different things. Like they're actually, you know, they risk it a bit. And I think they like the main character more so than the main characters on The Walking Dead. I don't know. I wanted to get super into that just because it had like more of a Mexican cultural impact. You know, some of the characters that were in the main group were Mexican, so that's the reason why I wanted to get into it. I really wanted to see how they introduced that. I remember one because they went into Mexico, like part of the first season, something like that. So that's something. But yeah, I definitely need to talk to those people who watch The Walking Dead a little bit more. It's like to see how they feel about it, just because they're, you know, they have movies, they have these two TV shows, Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, and I think they both crossed over. Like there was a time jump in the Fear the Walking Dead. I'm not sure.
I think they did, yeah.
Yeah, something like
I can't
that.
guarantee it, but I remember hearing something like that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's, you know, but this definitely, you know, it started because the way, you know, characters have just come out of the show, like not come out, like talk about it, but have just like not appeared on it anymore, and then maybe come back or something like that. It just definitely feels like it's a procedure. Like, oh, hey, we're leaving for a season. Hey, we're back. Like, you know, I went to go do a movie or something. It's weird, but at the same time, it's not weird because now procedural is just the thing it is. I don't know. Now it's getting movies, feature-length type movies, but they're not going to be in theaters.
It's a weird choice, but we'll see how it works. Like, who knows? This could be like the next massive thing, and then every TV show gets like TV movies at some point.
Yeah. So, with that, we are going to move on to the next piece of news, which is going to be talking about some DC TV casting and updates, because that's apparently what Mitch wrote on the thing. So
because there's just so much stuff around.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, okay.
So I guess we could just kind of start off with the first one, which is going to be Psycho Pirate has been cast. Or do you? Yeah. So wait, did you want to kind of go one by one?
I mean,
all at the same time.
You can do it.
Okay, so I'm going to say them all at the same time, and then we'll just go by them one by one. So the first one was Psycho Pirate has been cast for Elseworlds, and the guy who's going to be playing Psycho Pirate is where's the guy's name? Oh, Bob Fraser. So I don't know where he's from, but Runaways alum joins DC Universe Stargirl and familiar role. So the girl, what's her? How do you say her name? The girl from Runaways? Not entirely sure.
Which one?
The girl from Runaways, Stargirl.
I don't know which one it is, to be fair.
Runaways alum joins DC Universe Stargirl.
Yeah, I know which article it is. I'm saying I don't know which person it is.
It's the first name on the paragraph.
Do you know Angelica Washington?
Yeah, okay, I'm just saying.
Angelica.
Okay, yeah. So, she is going to be coming to DC's Universe of Stargirl. I don't think they like give too much. Let me see. Because I don't think they give the actual name to the role, right? They just say she's going to be in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently it's someone familiar to DC Comics fans. Like, you'll know who it is.
Okay. So we have another casting for Swamp Thing. Virginia Manta is going to be playing Maria Sunderland, and then of course, Jesse L. Martin on The Flash, who plays Detective Joe West, is going to take a leave of absence due to back injury, which sucks.
Yeah.
But no wonder, as you said, as Mitch said,
So no wonder
first,
he's been standing still and sitting down.
Yeah, no wonder he's just been kind of like, every time we see him in a scene, he's just been waking up or watching TV or something like that.
Yep.
The biggest thing to me that came out of all this was Psycho Pirate.
Yeah, because yet again, isn't it another Crisis character?
Yes, and also recently he had something to do with Rebirth. I don't think they ever put too much emphasis. Like they did.
I think Heroes in Crisis is going to be dealing with the whole Psycho Pirate thing.
Okay, then I got.
I think that's what Tom King's been building up to anyway. So. Because the first issue for Heroes in Crisis had Superman holding the Psycho Pirate mask. So I assume.
Yeah, then I definitely gotta keep up with that one. Then I'm actually gonna start reading that one because one of the biggest things was like I like the fact that they had introduced Psycho Pirate in this character that remembers the old universe, and they never, it's one of those things. One of the missed opportunities, and there was a lot of opportunities missed with kind of Rebirth and where it all went and stuff like that. And maybe they should have gave it out to Jeff Johns. I still feel like Scott Snyder's Batman Metal was such not necessary. Like you should have maybe did something that had more to do with Rebirth and maybe Psycho Pirate. And...
Metal should have happened after Rebirth wrapped up.
Yes, and I don't even think they still wrapped up Rebirth. And
no, they have because Doomsday Clock's still going.
Yeah, I mean even that, like I'm pretty sure there's other stuff from Rebirth that needs to be wrapped up, and Metal definitely didn't feel like it needed to be in the middle of that because it just felt like a stopgap. In a way of like, hey, we're still figuring this out, so here's something in the meantime. I'm like, but that's not what I want. You should have had it figured out, Yeah. There's still so much they could have done. But, Psycho Pirate is one of those characters that can recall or feel universes, and, of course, the crossover's Elseworlds. I don't know if they necessarily say, let me see. The character is scheduled to appear in the Flash and Supergirl episodes as an inmate of Arkham Asylum. In comics...
So I think they're definitely doing their version of a Crisis at this point. There's too many Crisis characters involved.
Which I hope this is the point in the DC TV universe where they put them all in the same Earth and we can stop having.
Yeah, I think that's what they do.
I really hope so. I mean, it's not like I'll hate the shows for not doing it, and if they don't. But this is just my thing. Like this makes a lot of sense because. It gets a little tiring of the only reason to visit Supergirl, or the only reason to, or not the only reason, the only way to visit Supergirl is through a portal, and only really the Flash team can do it.
It doesn't really make sense either as well to have them all separated at this point. It's like you're all on the same network, just be on the same planet.
My thing was that they can all remember that they were all on different Earths, but when they see other people, when other people normal citizens greet them or whatever, they would have thought they've been there for forever. It's but they can all remember. It's probably gonna be something like that, right? Where they all come back and they're all in the same universe, and they all remember it because they touched Psycho Pirate's helmet, and they remember that they were in different universes and stuff like that. Supergirl's the only one separated. I think, right. But also Black Lightning, which is terrible because they also.
But is Black Lightning part of the others?
It's not. Yeah, it's on its own. I don't think it's part in the other any of the universes. Which is such a misstep. You thought they would have added Black Lightning.
Which to be fair, he hasn't got to be in this, but you can use it as a way to say, "Oh, look, he's now in this."
But also, when is Black Lightning going to be able to play with all the other people? It's like he's in timeout right now. What's wrong? Why isn't he able to suit up with all the other superheroes in the DC universe?
There's no reason for it. Maybe this is the reason.
It's just Black Lightning, where he's like a Sharnat. I think he adds a different element to the team. He is I think he probably is the oldest hero out of all of them. Yeah. Maybe John's older, but he's an alien. But maybe he's the oldest human. And if Jesse L. Martin eventually leaves, there is another father figure out there that could have been in that crossover. To help out somebody. I don't know. I mean, right now, Black Lightning is not in the Arrowverse, also filmed in Atlanta, while all the other films are filmed in Vancouver. It makes sense. But as we all remember, Supergirl was filmed in, LA, I think, for CBS. and then Flash was still able to cross over. Eventually, there has to be a crossover. Somebody, at least one character. I don't know what. But I'm very curious because they haven't met, like, you know, they mentioned Supergirl, Superman, all these other things, Lex Luthor. No mention of Black Lightning for this Arrowverse crossover anywhere. Like, not even, like, we're thinking about putting Black Lightning sometime down the line.
It will happen. They'll put him. If it's not with the Elseworlds crossover, I'll be surprised. No.
I'm gonna look it up because there has to be somebody saying something about this, some producer. You know what I'm saying? And with I think the other news things or news articles that we got, news pieces, don't really are too important. Like, of course, this the girl from Runaways is gonna be joining Stargirl. We don't really know the character's name, so you know we just know that's cool that they got somebody from Runaways. Jesse L. Martin, you know, it's probably gonna have some effect. You know, they're just not gonna have any Joe West.
I'd say they've said they're gonna like write him out eventually. No, it's not like he's not gonna be on there and like without a reason. They actually give him a reason for him not to be on the show.
It's one of those things where he doesn't need to die because he definitely has a kid, so he could just be taking care of kids and, you know, leaving his job and stuff like that. And none of them live there, so it's not like they need to go there anymore. Maybe just go to, you know, Barry's place.
Yeah.
See.
I just want to put it on there for us, just you know.
No, I mean it is important.
Real.
Yeah.
Back pain's real. You know,
back
better.
pain.
It's never nice.
Whether you're in your 20s or you're in your 50s, back pain is real.
Yep, it's real.
And then of course for Swamp Thing, we're finally getting more casting. So Virginia is set to cast a series regular opposite Krista Reed as Swamp Thing. See.
You know, it's cool that Swamp Thing's kind of like taking shape now.
Yeah.
And we're getting everything, so even though we still don't have a release date. Do we have a production start date?
No, just soon. I don't think.
Yeah, which is a shame, but you know, it'll happen when it happens. It'll be sooner or later.
I'm assuming that this character is gonna be one of those kind of like, because you know apparently the swamp is kind of infectious or something like that, and she's gonna be one of those characters that just falls into the swamp and turns into a monster, and they have to fight her.
Yeah,
something.
That would make sense.
I mean, fine. Look, it's just crazy to me that this Swamp Thing, a live action show, is happening.
Yeah. But wasn't there always talks of a Swamp Thing TV show before?
There was a Man
like
Thing
years
show,
ago. No.
Wasn't there a Swamp Thing TV show? Like, I just forget.
No, but not. I'm not saying that like there was one. I'm saying that wasn't there always talks of one before?
Oh, well, there was one actually in the 90s.
Oh, was there?
I forgot about that.
Damn.
He doesn't look too bad. But I just forgot about that because it's just one of those things like it's so old and it's kind of like it's really dated, you know?
Yeah.
You know, one of the things I hope they do, which they probably won't, but I would hope they somewhat adapt Charles Soule's Swamp Thing run because that was one of the best runs.
I say people loved that run.
It ended on such a cliffhanger, man. I needed resolution to it, and he left for Marvel right after that. It really hurt because they added in a new kind of like I guess because you know there's the red, there's the green. There's also now kind of in no better ways to say it, the white kind of way where it was just about like ideas, the idea like zone or something like that. I was super into what Charles Soule was doing, and then he just dipped out. I was like, come on, man, at least finish it. But yeah, and yeah, so Elseworlds is scheduled to begin December 9th with The Flash, followed by Arrow on December 10th, and Supergirl on December 11th. So let's see, when is that? December 9th. So that's a Sunday. So we're gonna.
It's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
The sad thing is we're gonna only see one episode, and then talk about it, and then we have to wait.
I mean, you could save everything until the week after.
Yeah, we should talk about the first one at least, you know.
I mean, sure.
All right, so there's that. So it's gonna be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Should be interesting. Yeah, I'm excited. There's, you know, I always say not to get too excited about set picture stuff, and there's no reason to, and you can only get excited for this. But
there's plenty of reason to get excited over set pictures. Yeah, you can.
Dude, there's so much good stuff in it. It's like what?
I say it's kind of like you ain't gonna hear me say it much. It's kind of impressive that they just balls deep in this.
Can we clip that Chat, can you clip that? Yeah, that's an interesting thing to me. Is Flash and Supergirl will switch. Supergirl's usually on Sundays, but now it's going to switch to on
Yeah.
Wednesdays just for the crossover.
And it's only for the crossover, isn't it? They're not doing that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
They're not, you remember one of the worst things this year was the fact that the second half of Supergirl, they did like 3 episodes, stopped it for a good 2 months so they could finish Legends and then finish Supergirl.
I remember that. Yeah.
That was one of the worst kind of scheduling
Not that affected me in any way, shape, or form.
Me either.
Them, but it's just like that's kind of dumb.
Yeah, it was just one of the weirdest switcheroos in a long time. But yeah, a lot of things to look forward to for Elseworlds. So with that, we are now gonna get into something that I'm actually looking forward to. I didn't think I would because I haven't really played the game, but the first look at Henry Cavill as The Witcher. Like I said, never really played the games, but he doesn't look too bad. And
he doesn't look too bad. And even if you're not a fan of the look, it says right there on the clapper, makeup and costume test. It's not guaranteed to be the final look, so things could change and be different.
Yeah, you know what kind of not pisses me off, but it's just kind of of course people are saying
it's a bit perturbing.
The people saying where's his beard? It's like I thought he didn't.
Yeah,
I thought he only had a beard for the third game.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. I mean, he's got the stubble, it's fine. But yeah, they're taking it more from the books where he's younger, and it's not just The Witcher 3 where he's old and gray with all the hair.
I mean, if all goes right, he should kind of grow with the role.
Oh yeah. One of the big things about the games is that his appearance changes, and he gets the scars, and he gets the eyes and the hair.
Right now he looks like a pretty boy.
Yeah, he looks like Cavill with a silver wig on.
Exactly.
Hopefully the wig, it's not a bad wig. I think it's just the fact that it's silver, it really stands out as a wig. I personally would have it a bit shorter and not as thick. It's a very thick wig, hair wig, but that's just.
Think it gets in the way. But yeah. So I think you played the games, right? You played one, at least 3.
I played 3. Okay. I haven't finished DLC. It's one of those where it's this is so much. It's kind of daunting. But
so I'm like I said, I haven't played the games, but I've always really been interested in The Witcher just because of kind of what it is. It's it is that Game of Thrones style, but more magic-y.
It's a really interesting concept, to be fair. Shout out to the guy who wrote it and then sold it off for nothing. He's now mad about it, but
let's just say now all 3 of the big services have their Game of Thrones show. You have Game of Thrones on HBO. You have Lord of the Rings on Amazon. You have The Witcher on Netflix. Who's left? Hulu. Hulu needs something. What's another Game of Thronesy type of show that Hulu could get? Just get Harry Potter, the TV show, and just build around that.
I mean, that depends if Disney has the stake in Hulu on that still.
Oh yeah, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if there. I am surprised there isn't a Harry Potter show on HBO.
Yeah. The way they're trying to milk that cow right now, that's kind of surprising. But to be fair, that might be something they're saving for the WB streaming service.
See, what I hope is that we just, since the guy who played Harry Potter, Danny Radcliffe, since he's not really doing anything, let's just bring him back and continue the story. I kind of want to see what he does as he's older.
You would not want to see him as Harry Potter right now. He has not aged well.
Oh really? Oh
yeah. It's not like he's hit the bottle and all the pills and everything, but it's you do not look like Harry Potter right now.
Yeah, you're right. What is he? I'm gonna look at what he's doing right now. All right, then I guess the other thing to do would be just to kind of set it in that world, similar to Fantastic Beasts, but maybe have it on the other side of the globe.
Maybe do it with the kids.
I mean, sure, yeah, right. I was just gonna think Harry Potter happened, right? Like the original movies, and he's now kind of known throughout the wizarding world as this, and he stopped Voldemort and all of this, and there's a new evil that arises, but across the world in a different land. And there's somebody who looks. Harry Potter's now basically this idol, he's Superman in a way. He's whoa, I can't wait to meet him one day. That type of stuff. I don't know. I think that'd be cool. Kind of continuing it and having Harry kind of inspire a new generation of wizards.
I mean, sure.
I think that'd be really cool. But that'd just be me, and I don't know.
But there's more news for The Witcher as well.
Go ahead. I want to talk a lot about this.
They cast Trish, not Trish. It's Triss because it's TRISS. So forgive me for that one. People are fuming because I think there's two reasons. One's a typical like, oh, they cast a black woman for it and she's white and ginger, which unless you're ginger and you're pasty, you can't really get mad about it. The other one is I think it's because Triss isn't technically canon in the books. I think she's a video game character only. I'm
Well,
not 100%.
this is the thing, right? It was gonna be adapted. It was gonna have some change to it from the
Yeah,
books
I
and the
mean,
games.
to be fair, it's fair enough. Triss sucks, so
Oh.
it's kind of, yeah, if Yennefer's the best girl and the only way, the correct answer for that series, but
You know what? Like, I'm definitely not gonna get into The Witcher because I still haven't finished Horizon. So if I ever finish that, which I'm starting again, eventually The Witcher, because The Witcher takes like
is that you're starting playing, going like start to play it again, or you're going to start it over again?
no, I'm starting to play it again from where I
No.
was. I remember where I was, and I remember kind of everything about it. I gotta get the grind going so I can be ready to fight all these things. I took down like some leveled beasts that I wasn't some corrupted beasts that I wasn't even supposed to be, and I was like, bro, this is like it took me like almost like 30 minutes to an hour just because I had to keep waiting because I was so under leveled. It was so wild. But yeah, so The Witcher, man, is like you're saying there's like some controversy, but at the same time, it's like we'll probably get over it.
Yeah, and like she probably is going to do a great job as Triss, and she might actually make Triss a likable person and good character. I'm still waiting on Kira to get, but then I don't know if Kira's in the books or not. So
You know what? You know what? Good on Cavill for landing a really top role that could maybe last a decade.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, it could go on for years. I mean, a decade probably. Yeah.
Yeah. So Game of Thrones is going for at least 8 years. So I'm assuming at least around that range. If they,
I mean, technically, it's going to be 9 by the time season 8 comes out. But
true, but I guess in terms of just the shows actually coming out. But I guess if you're right, like they've been these characters for like almost a decade, and yeah, I'd expect The Witcher and even Lord of the Rings to last a decade. I don't know what other thing could be on like what's another property out there that could definitely work as the Game of Thrones effect, because that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants the Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of stuff.
I'm sure you can. I mean, Inhumans is supposed to be Game of Thrones.
Confession, I've been sitting here thinking about like when you asked about the streaming services and the Game of Thrones, I was like, Inhumans is perfect for.
I hope they bring it back and just rejuvenate it, but I don't know.
I said it on Twitter recently because like they don't have to have a movie. Make them the next supporting characters. That they're perfect for that. You could maybe have a crack at an 8-episode limited series and Disney Play with it again. They probably won't. That's fair enough. That's how I do.
So for DC, I guess the New Gods would be their Game of Thrones version, but I'm trying to think of a more down to earth.
I mean, to be fair, Eternals is very similar to like
New Gods. Yeah.
Thrones.
So what's the Inhumans version of DC? So like kind of like kings and queens. I'm trying to think. I don't remember.
They have one?
I don't think they have one yet. Maybe I'm the DC guy. I should know this, but I just don't recall. Maybe Jack can help me on this.
I don't think they have anything that.
I mean, I guess technically Aquaman, Kings and Queens, like that. But I'm talking more like this TV show.
Yeah, but then it's more Namor, Aquaman in it, really. But but no, The Witch is something that, as long as it's good and it connects with people, which I have no doubt, as long as it is good, it will connect with people. It's it is a really fantastic story. Like Cavill, like, sure, it's sad he's not Superman anymore. He's landing on his feet if this works out.
Yeah, I can't believe I didn't think of this. Yeah, Krypton, but at the same time, the show is trying to go for that, but on a really basic level, and I'm just like, that was my thing, right? The show tried to go for that, but I felt like it skipped ahead too much in terms of the progression. But at the same time, I guess you got to think about it based on like what Krypton deals with. Like, Brainiac might be a big villain, but what's after? Like, I'm pretty sure like, how bigger can they get than Brainiac? I want to see, like,
aren't they going Lobo?
Well, because that's, I guess, bigger than Brainiac to me is Zod actually changing the timeline. Like, that's pretty big.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, that's the direction they're going. They're going Lobo.
Well, I thought it was he's in the show for season 2, but the season 2's main story is going to be the fact that Zod changed the timeline.
Oh, is that actually what it's going to be?
Lobo's going to be in it, but I mean, maybe Zod tries to use Lobo as a defense. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, they teased it from season 1 at the very end, where the timeline's changed and Zod is now like a hero across the universe and is like has captured planets and stuff like that. That's wild, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess Krypton technically could be that, and you know, if it was me, you know, running Krypton, I probably would have did it a little different, just because I feel like they should have started smaller, so it had that Game of Thrones effect where it got eventually bigger to dragons and stuff like that. Because remember season 1, it was just like it was just about like a lot of people lying and their secrets and stuff like that, and the biggest thing was just somebody's head got cut off. Like there's no dragons, there's no mystical creatures really, so that's to me. But
But back to the Witcher thing though, like there's a lot of people going like, oh, like look how like he can't act in this, and it's like, have you ever seen or read what Geralt's like, or Geralt is like? Like witches aren't like emotional. You don't really. They're very stoic in how they look and how they present themselves. So, and that's obviously all part of how they become witches. So it's all part of the plan. But it looks cool. I think it's going to be cool. The costume will probably change, and you know he'll get armor and something eventually. So there's no need to freak the hell out.
Ooh, something that we definitely don't need to freak out about, unless you're freaking out in excitement.
Unless you're a young Avengers fan.
Yeah, Vision to play a key role in Scarlet Witch limited series that will be on the Disney streaming service Disney Play.
Which no Vision was going to be in it. You can kind of take this in several ways, because it's not, you don't necessarily have to have the same Vision that's been in the movies. It could be obviously the same, like it's going to be Paul Bettany and it's going to be Vision, but you could do he hasn't got the emotions now.
So
White Vision.
One thing I wanted to ask you, because I don't think I asked you this before, and I think I was saving it for this, was, are we thinking this series? Because I mean, I think they're calling it a limited series, right? Or are we just saying? Are we saying limited series?
I'm assuming that this is going to be a limited series, because they said the Falcon and Bucky one's a limited series.
So are we assuming every one of these shows is going to be a limited series and won't have like season 2s? In my opinion, I think that works out best, because you know some of these actors are movie actors and they have other stuff to do, and I'm sure having it be one season only and then just stopping it there and just almost kind of like a tie-in type thing where you're just like,
you know, it's a very not cheap and quick way of doing everything. If you heard that, I apologize. There's a firework right outside my window, and it's scared the hell out of me. But you know, you can just take time out of the movie for these characters, set up something, and put them on a path in a one direction.
They're one shots, yeah.
You bring them back in, and then you can just carry the story on in there. So like, say the Falcon and Bucky one, it's, you know, who's going to be Captain America, the Thunderbolts appear, and then you just carry that in the movie.
And the best thing is there won't be a second season to Bucky and Winter Soldier. It'll just be like that 8-episode or 10 episode.
Excuse me, he's now White Wolf. No.
Wait, what?
He's now White Wolf. He's not Winter Soldier anymore.
Did I say Winter Soldier? I thought I said Bucky. Oh.
No, you said Winter Soldier.
10 minutes about it. Okay, well, if it's Bucky and Falcon, then, you know, there's just going to be that, and that's it. Like, there's no season 2. It's like, will there be a season? Like, what are they going to do for the next season? Like, no, we're not going to deal with all that, like, and whatnot. We're just going to tell a story and then continue it in the movies, which I generally love, because that, to me, that it just means that it'll have more time for other characters as well, and not just focus on certain characters. Because once you do a Bucky and Falcon, or Vision and Scarlet Witch, there, you know, it's not out of the realm of possibility to do other characters, because then if you just get stuck on those 4, then maybe you're like, what about
you know, like with all of them they've announced, or that have come out, they haven't announced anything yet. Like all of them, you can only go so far. Like as much as I like Scarlet Witch, and you probably go on forever, and I'd like it. She can only really do so much. No.
I'm very curious as to, you know, we know the reason is that, you know, everybody's trying to get their own streaming service, and you know this is the big pop for it. They're having characters from the movies appear and stuff like that, but is it in? I'm assuming it's the same contract they have from the movies and regular TV show.
I think that's the big question.
Is it the same contract? Because if it is, then it makes sense.
I wouldn't expect it to be, because it's something like a movie isn't a TV show.
Well, it depends on
what
is in the contract. Is it project? Do they say is the keyword you are tied into for 6
I
projects
mean,
for
like,
Marvel Studios.
let's look at
Is there a contract out there like that's
who
released?
plays what's the actor's name who plays Bucky? I can't remember his name.
Sebastian Stan, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like, let's look at Stan's contract, right? You know, it was always been said he has a 9-picture deal. And I think the key word there is picture.
So, yeah,
And like,
is it official that it says picture, or is it projects? Cause I'm still there needs to be a leak. I want to see a contract, bro.
I mean, you'll never see that.
Yeah, I know, but that's but then
they're
that's
in the
what keeps
dead
us
vault
in the dark.
deep underground at Disneyland. Like, you'll never see that. I think people just always assumed it was
movies, because they're
at
in the movies.
The time when they signed it, I don't think they would have had this in mind. But you know, if you look at like Chris Evans, he had to make like, or they've all actually like renegotiated their contracts at some point. But for his little cameo in Thor: The Dark World, he had to renegotiate something for that because it wasn't in his original one.
But someone like Samuel Jackson, they appearing on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that first season, and I think even another season, right? Did that count to the overall, like...
No, I don't think it did.
You know, it's one of those things that...
Unless it counts as a cameo, because I think in their contracts it does say, like, appearances and, like, the roles.
See, I mostly say this, and not in a sense of, like, so if, you know, Sebastian Stan Bucky does the show, does it count overall, and, like, he does less movies, something like that. I say it overall as I wonder why they wouldn't have tried this earlier on, like, ABC. Is there, like, a thing where they don't want to put it on ABC? Like, they didn't want to put these movie actors on ABC? Like, do you have to have a different subset of a contract to be on a you know, ABC type of channel? Like, network that's on regular television? Because I'm assuming there's a difference between that and, like, a streaming service. And, I don't know, there's just a lot of, like, super in-depth, detailed stuff that really could get you confused if you talk too much about it.
Because I believe Stan still has 4 movies left out of the 9 he originally signed on for. That's if that's at work. So, like, if this is 1, that leaves him with 3, which maybe he is going to be the new Cap. Because, yes, to be fair, we don't know Sam. I can't think of it. I'm blanking on people's names today. Anthony Mackie.
Yeah.
Don't know Mackie's contract. If we do, I've completely missed that one.
And I don't, you know, and this is one of those things where I've always said is the curtain has risen so high. Like like 5 years ago, even I guess maybe a decade ago, is when nobody would have really cared. Like regular people wouldn't have cared about like what does a contract say and stuff like that. And it's everywhere too. It's not just this. There's people in sports now that care more about contracts and just regular people. Like, oh, how much is in his contract? How much money is he making? And I guess for movies too, like how much is in his contract? Like how many movies are allowed and stuff like that. It's like people are super into it now. Like that's just the new regular that people are asking about contracts. So it's not like if anybody's just like, whoa, I wonder why people are talking about contracts. Like, that's just how it is nowadays.
Chat, I don't believe that John Cena is going to be the new Cap. If anything, make him US agent.
Why are people saying that?
Because he posted a picture of the Shield on his Instagram, I think.
Let me see.
And of course, you put something on Instagram like that, you're clearly doing something.
Well, that's the world we live in now, right?
Which I mean, to be fair, Cena as Cap or a US agent wouldn't be mad.
What are we forgetting the fact that it has like looks like claws went through it?
I mean, he's just using the Civil War picture.
I'm surprised somebody didn't say. Surprised somebody didn't say like could be Wolverine claws. You get it? Wolverine versus Cap.
Because the people that would say that are the people that would know that Wolverine has 3 claws and there's 4 scratches. So
it's actually I think 5.
Well, there's 5, so it's not Wolverine.
He maybe did 3 and then 2 with the other one. Who knows?
You just missed one.
Yeah, like I'm just. It's funny that some people didn't just put that out there too. But
no, that's the big thing that like he's
actually didn't know this. I didn't know that he put the Cap Shield in on Instagram, so that's news to me. Yeah, I highly doubt he'd be the new Cap too. Maybe he is something Marvel related, but it's just.
I say I can see him as US agent, which is just bad Cap or like.
Sure, because wouldn't New Cap be, you know, either Bucky or Falcon?
It would be one of those, yeah.
So
There's no way we're being
that's
like
it.
that.
Hey, get your bag, John Cena. He's gonna be in the Marvel universe now, hopefully, because that's like what it looks like. He's just throwing that. I feel like you don't just throw that out there, right? You don't just throw that out there.
No, like, especially not this day and age. Like, you don't do something like that.
Well, some people throw that out there as a way to get cast, but a lot
I
of
mean,
other
yeah,
people
yeah, that's
throw
fair.
it out
But
there because
they normally have something like, "I'm ready for like this." Like he didn't. I don't think he said anything. I think he just posted the picture, which is usually more of a tease.
Wow, John Cena's Instagram is a meme page.
Really?
You just look at his Instagram and it's kind of like a meme page. Is this the real John Cena?
Can't be.
No way.
No, can't be.
So, John Cena, welcome to my Instagram. These images will be posted without explanation for your interpretation. Enjoy. What?
There's no way. There's no way his actual Instagram.
Did he get hacked?
No idea.
If he did, then that makes sense, right? Of why there's like just a random cat picture.
I mean,
yeah, because like there's literally just it looks like a meme page. Like just look up his Instagram. Like just look up his Instagram on your computer. It's just like just open up a tab and just look at it. And
that's what I'm doing, Joe. Calm down.
it's just. Yeah, he made a meme page basically.
That's funny.
He's one of those people that actually I could see him doing this. He has that weird sense of like, yeah, a meme page. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you can see him doing it. He has done it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's funny.
Like that makes sense because it almost made it seem like he got hacked.
Yeah, the without explanation for your interpretation bit is interesting though.
So
it's like, well, why did you post that?
I'm assuming that all these things he posted because they had something to do with like he's doing.
I mean, maybe everyone's way off, and it's just like, oh no, like the capsule just means Marvel, and he's going to be the new Drax when Drax is under.
Or he just kind of just drew out a random Marvel picture because.
I mean, sure, there is that as well, but
because he also posted a picture before of Doctor Doom crushing somebody.
Yeah. Yes, chat. There is a blue check mark. It is the John Cena.
Let me see. I want to see if he posted another Marvel picture. He posted a picture of 6ix9ine. That's how you know it's like he's strong. He posted a picture of Joker.
Yeah, but back to Vision being a Scarlet Witch. No, I said you could do the whole like emotionless Vision thing. You can do that. You could quite easily lead this up into a Vision solo series, doing a Tom King run. Easily do that and bringing Viv that way. I honestly think they're going to use this as a way to get Speed and Wiccan into everything. Because it's like, oh, Vision, Scarlet Witch, get the babies, get the Young Avengers. You can just explain, oh, we're going to skip over the whole baby part of their lives because she can warp reality and make kids out of nothing now. So here's 2 like teenagers for Young Avengers, or like early 20 kids. No. There's plenty you can do with it.
Yeah,
it's an exciting time for where they're going. But yeah.
Wait, I'm just reading more about this John Cena stuff real quick, just because it's kind of like mattered. Because like if it isn't capped, and all these like rumors and people posting articles, just like kind of a waste. Because like maybe he isn't doing anything with Marvel.
I mean, it's not a waste with them because they get the traffic to the sites.
So apparently, he was told by the company WWE that he works for he has to get an Instagram account, and he said, "Man, I don't know if I could do this. Nobody's coming around shooting photos of me, so I don't think it's gonna make any sense." And he just kind of like started posting pictures of like his friends, his close friend's mustache, and just random pictures up there with no tags, no meaning. And
That's funny.
Yeah, they told him like, "Hey, you're using Instagram all wrong. You should do this and that, this and that." He's like, "No, I think I'm doing Instagram pretty right." And then
I have 10.9 million followers.
Yeah. So yeah,
no, that's funny. That's funny.
So I love that USA Today basically summed up what I thought of his account. It's like for the first 100 posts, it was like, "Is this John? Is this the real John? What the heck is he doing? Is this account been hacked?" I love it. That's pretty much my that's kind of my journey. What I mean,
that was your exact reaction.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, I love it now. Like after I was like, is he hacked? No, I love it. That's pretty funny.
Clip Joe's John Cena Instagram journey.
Also clip Mitch saying he gives props to the CW.
I mean, you haven't got to clip that part.
All right. Now, going on to the last piece of news, talking about the Zelda TV series. Kind of Adi Shankar's going to be producing it and stuff like that. And, Adi Shankar's back.
Speaking of Netflix, Game of Thrones type shows for streaming services.
Zelda?
Zelda could quite easily be like
Exactly.
a Netflix Game of Thrones. They would have
Halo, I
two.
guess, is a Game of Thrones type one, right?
No, 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 no,
No,
no,
okay, never
no.
mind.
Which, speaking of Halo, I hear they want a big name for that, so they're not like messing around with Halo.
Yeah. Let's
Um,
see. So where is it
but
gonna
that,
be on? Or is it
we
Zelda?
don't know. It wasn't said. All that's really known about this is that he posted something, I think, on his Instagram again. Funny enough, kind of teasing this, but it's kind of been leaked out that it is going to be Zelda.
Oh, November 16th, he's gonna announce what it is.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah, people are saying it's gonna be Zelda. I hope he says where or like when. You know, where is it
I
gonna be
mean,
Netflix?
to be honest, he does Castlevania on Netflix. People love that show. I still need to watch it because I haven't.
Man, what a two like 1-2 punch with Zelda and The Witcher. If that's like
Yeah,
true,
yeah.
Zelda's.
If they're both good, which I can't see Zelda not being good, and I can't really see Witcher not being good. That's a two hell of a gets. No, it's about time Zelda had like a proper TV show. So, but
Whoa.
I don't know if they say if it's going to be animated or not, and that's the big question for me. It's like, do you do it animated or do you do it live action? I'd assume with Adi Shankar and like Castlevania, it's going to be animated,
Yeah.
which I'm fine with. I'd love to see a live action Zelda, but I'm fine with the animated series. No, Netflix and animated series, they do quite well. Right? Seven Deadly Sins, Voltron, Castlevania, right? They're doing well.
100%. And we all played Zelda as kids, and even some people who love like Breath of the Wild and stuff like that want that maybe to be
Yeah,
more of the movie. I think it should be interesting. Of course, there's so many games. I'm sure they're just gonna adapt to
there's
a
a ton
certain.
of games. There's
Yeah,
a ton of
they're
games.
gonna adapt to a
Um,
certain version of it.
And I hope they don't do that thing where it's like, oh yeah, they are all connected. Like, sure they are. They're all loosely connected. There is a Zelda timeline out there somewhere, but make it more of an anthology for me.
Sure.
Personally, I know that way you can kind of. I mean, you could switch up Link either way, doing it anthology or not. But no, just and if you are going to do the whole, oh they are connected, like make it like clear and concise how everything fits in. Unlike the games where it's just like, oh, figure it out. But yeah, I'm
Uh,
excited for it. It's cool. No.
100%, 100%. Yeah, I think that is about to do it for us in terms of the regular news. We are going to talk about the shows of the week real quick, which was really just one. No DC TV this week. I know somebody in the chat was, kind of disappointed. I was supposed to talk Supergirl Legends. I didn't really get a
We were
catch the show.
supposed to talk about Sabrina, but
That
someone only
too.
watched one
Well,
episode
yeah,
while I watched the entire thing.
that too. I was supposed to watch the 4 DC shows and Sabrina. Didn't get to watch really any of those except one episode of
But hey,
Sabrina.
things happen. You can't
So,
always.
but I did watch Titans. That was like the first thing I watched on Friday to make sure I didn't miss it.
I literally watched it before I went to bed last night because I completely forgot about it. I was like, oh yeah, Titans is there.
So now we're gonna get into the shows of the week, which we're gonna be talking about Titans. All right. So as my hypothesis of the show was continuing to show or tell, I think the show's getting better gradually.
I would say right now, this is the only good episode they've had. I don't expect it to carry on whatsoever because it was good because of the Doom Patrol.
One of the things, no, see, one of the things I would say it was good about it wasn't necessarily the characters themselves. It was the fact that they kind of took the time out of whatever they were doing and just it gave us introductions to characters. Whereas, like, with Beast Boy, Starfire, Robin, and even Raven, like, we know a little bit about them, but with Doom Patrol, they actually like told us
I'm saying
more.
we know
and
more
less.
about Doom Patrol
Yeah.
than we do about the Titans,
See that,
which is sad.
and that's my kind of thing about this. And that, look, the characters are great, right? And kind of, it's fun of the interactions and stuff like that. But it was more. That's what I picked up about that. We know more about the Doom Patrol and less than we do about the Titans, who have had about 4 episodes, or let's say 3 episodes, because technically this had more Doom Patrol.
I mean, you could go as far as to say 2 because episode 2 was for Hawk and Dove.
You're right, and it's the same thing, right? We're in Hawk and Dove. We learned more about Hawk and Dove than we did about the Titans and those other
It's
two
like
episodes.
it's like the entire show has Raven as the plot device, and she
Yeah.
drives everything forward, like good or bad, up to you. But as a whole, the Titans seem to be just Raven, and it's like the Titans are
What?
the plot device to introduce other things.
So one of the things I also will, give props to this episode is that it gave me, as a viewer, maybe other people, more of a sense of where Robin is at this point in his life, because there is that one moment where we hit that guy. They went looking for Raven. They found the hunter and they started beating them up, and it was getting bloodied. And Starfire was like, "Dude, stop!" And then you see the kid, like a kid there, just watching his parent get beat up, and then you see like the face on Grayson and kind of what he was in that. It felt like he was being taken over by something he didn't want to be taken over, and that's kind of what they were alluding to this whole time.
See, if that's the case, they've done a really bad job, because why hasn't he called it earlier?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. That's my exact
No, he
thing.
stabbed a guy in the dick last episode. Why didn't you catch it?
So that's my exact thing of this episode does a whole lot of things better than the other 3 episodes, which I'm curious as to who wrote it and who directed this specific episode.
I'm wondering if this was more John's as opposed to the other writers.
Because it definitely it gave so much more than in so much less time.
There was a lot of it felt like a completely different show.
It
Like,
really
yes,
is.
it's a backdoor pilot for Doom Patrol,
Yeah.
and I'm all aboard for that show now. But it felt. It was just completely different. Like, the tone was over the place. The characters was kind of better. The characters are kind of better written. Raven still,
because even that one moment where Robot Man's like, "You don't want to," or no, Negative Man is like, "You don't want to see what I'm about," or something like that, and then Starfire's like, "You either." That was just like that's her kind of stepping up to the plate, and she can somehow use her powers now, like without just guessing. Stuff like that.
I assume so, because she hasn't really done anything like.
It felt like such a different show.
Yeah, and the problem is, like, if it like goes like the next episode is how I think they're gonna go with it, and they're gonna be more of a team now. It doesn't feel earned.
Yeah, it feels too fast, and I feel like that should have been, if it's 10 episodes, should have been like episode 7.
Yeah, it's like we don't know any of them. The show's acting like we do when we haven't, but now.
So here's something interesting to know. I went to IMDb and I'm looking at specific episodes, right, in terms of the writers / developers and stuff like that, right? So here's writers for episode 2. The writers for episode 2 was actually Akiva Goldsman. He was the only one that wrote episode 2.
All right.
Jeff Johns was the only one that wrote episode 4, Doom Patrol. And as for episode 1 and 3, it was a combined thing of Berlanti, Johns, and Goldsman.
Yeah.
So you could definitely, when you're looking back at it in hindsight, you're like, it did feel like different people's imprints on those episodes. For like,
yeah.
So
and it's a shame, because if the show was like this the last 3 weeks, I'd be fine.
Dude, if Jones literally, because it says right here, he was the only one that wrote the Doom Patrol episode. Like, all the characters, the story, of course, the show was developed by Goldsman, Berlanti, and Johns, but he was the only, and John Fawcett was the guy who directed the thing. Let me see, what else is he doing? He did Titans. He's gonna do another one called Together. He did. Oh, this guy did a lot of episodes of Orphan Black. He did 7. Oh. This guy who directed Doom Patrol, the episode, directed like 17 episodes of Orphan Black.
You know what? Saying that, I can see it. Thinking about it, I can really see a little bit of Orphan Black in there.
That's 100% the most interesting thing. He also wrote. I think he created Orphan Black. This guy created.
Maybe
He's a director and producer known for Orphan Black. He wrote. And was partly created, I guess, Orphan Black. Wow, one of your favorite shows to one of your favorite episodes is like the only good episode you liked.
What are the odds?
What are the odds?
See, you get talent on here, and you get good things. You don't. You end up with the first 3 episodes. Like,
yeah, so
it's just how it goes. So I'll take back what I said in the first episode about I'm ready for John's last episode. You've got another chance. Like, that's not.
It's just crazy to me that and then I don't know who's writing the next episode. Let me see.
Also, I just want to put it out there. I'm going to be eating my own words a lot for this episode. my whole thing about Beast Boy not being on Doom Patrol, I take it back. Fine, thank you, you done it.
What happened?
Remember when they were saying like, "Oh, Cyborg's on Doom Patrol and it's not Beast Boy," and we had the conversations like, "Well, shouldn't it be Beast Boy and not this?" Da, 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 da. Well, he was on the Doom Patrol because he lived with them. So.
I always thought that was gonna play out. I always thought that's how the Titans and them were gonna meet.
It, so I'll retract my comments about that one. So.
In the Doom Patrol kind of synopsis, it says that Cyborg has a mission for them. And I'm going to assume maybe the Justice League has kind of been formed a little bit. So Batman, Superman, Cyborg are out there. I'm going to assume, right?
Which is weird.
Why is Cyborg going to have a mission for them if he's just like a regular guy?
Yeah, but that's weird. So, I don't know how...
It's kind of like they're building this universe in a built universe.
Yeah, I'll wait to see how they handle that. Yeah. But at this point, I don't want anyone. I just want the Doom Patrol. So don't muck it up with other people. Just give me the.
But yeah, okay. So that now that we know Jeff Johns is officially was the one who wrote this one and kind of the best episode. Jeff Johns wrote the best episode of Titans so far, which is episode 4,
and the only good one.
Okay, let's say that. So yeah, there's just so much you can look into. So of course, I feel like that kind of shot where it was going to the pictures of the Doom Patrol, and it kind of had like a progression of them.
Yeah.
That said so much in just like one like shot, and to me, it's like you couldn't have done that for maybe Raven. Like you could the same.
I was gonna say we can we have people that can do this kind of storytelling. Where has it been for the last 3 hours?
It's just to me, it's so dumbfounded that this episode could be this good. And the other 3 are just so subpar in terms of just building up the show, building up these characters. Then you come to episode 4, you're like, wow, I feel like I've been with these characters for a while. It's like, but I haven't, because these characters really haven't done too much. They've been doing the same thing over and over.
It's just a completely different show.
Yeah,
it's a
completely different writer too.
Yeah, like when the season ends and you kind of look back and everything, you're gonna have to knock it down because it's a completely different show compared to the rest of it. Like it's not consistent with itself.
It's so weird.
It's not gonna knock the episode because Doom Patrol are clearly the superior out of everything in this. But it's. Just give me more of this.
So we actually talked about it not too long ago. I think of how you had read. Well, I didn't know if this was true or not, but you had read that the actors. Okay, you heard. I thought you read it from somebody.
I'd heard that the actors weren't going to be the same.
Yeah. So
obviously,
obviously it's different. So Brendan Fraser and Matt Bomer, I think that's how you say his name, the guys who are voicing Robot Man and Negative Man, who were announced for the Doom Patrol show. There wasn't a lot of speculation if they were going to be in it. Some people thought it was going to be a whole different cast. Actually, no, it was those 2 voicing the characters in the Doom Patrol episode on Titans. And actually, if you look at the pictures, you saw Brendan Fraser, like in the race car suit. Like it was that was him.
I like that. That was cool. That was
and the only thing changing is the guy who plays Chief. But I'm assuming that there's gonna have a reasoning for that because he did get like hurt again, and he's probably gonna go through some treatment.
Yeah, he's paralyzed again.
Yeah, and they're probably gonna. I mean, he was technically paralyzed in the comics, and that's usually how he is. He's always in a wheelchair.
Oh yeah.
So I'm assuming they're gonna have some kind of treatment for him, and he's gonna look different because they're changing him up. They're getting an older guy for him, which is weird, like an older actor.
Yeah, I mean, I assume because he says like Negative Man that like his thing happened 50 years ago.
Yeah, Chief is old too. Yeah, Chief is pretty
so
old.
like clearly there's an easy way to work in like maybe how they fix him. Kind of ages him up slightly.
Yeah, and Jared, old Bond actor to play Chief. Yep, that is exactly correct. And then so everything's.
Which I have to admit, the way that they played Chief in this threw me a little bit at the start.
You were kind of right that
it's just the way he talked. And then towards the end, like the middle part of it, I'm like, you know what? I actually kind of like how he's playing this. I'm all here for it. So I hope when like that Doom Patrol show comes out, like Chief is similar to that. It's not something completely different.
We were both kind of right in a sense. When we saw the previews, I said that it was going to be more Doom Patrol is going to help Raven, and it's going to be this kind of happy thing. And you said, well, it kind of looks like like evil stuff. Like it seems like
And say
they might, capture her or something like
I
that.
had to laugh when it happened. I was like, we were both right.
Yeah, because
Like, oh well.
half the Doom Patrol wanted to help her, and the other, like, just Chief wanted to use her
I'll say
for certain
I
stuff.
assume Chief. It wasn't like it obviously was for selfish reasons, but
Yeah.
it's not like a malicious thing.
No, 100%. But it was
But
for
I was
selfish
kind of like,
reasons,
you know
yeah.
what? They did
Yeah.
something. I'll take that. I'm happy.
Yeah, and I mean, let's just like when you look at the other three characters, Robot Man, Negative Man, and Elastigirl, like just the way they all complement each other. Like one, like Robot Man was more uptight, and then you have Negative Man who's like free flowing and stuff like that, and Elastigirl
Have the recluse in Elastigirl.
Yeah, it's just they all when you compare it to the Titans, it's kind of like wow, why can't these characters be more like the Doom Patrol in the sense of like they complement each other more? Right now, we don't really know too much.
No, I mean from right now, just looking at the Titans, we have
Seems
two people
depressed.
that are virtually the same, and then you have the goofy one, and then someone who might end up the goofy one or a depressed one.
It almost seems like all three of them, all four of them, were kind of depressed in a way. I'm like,
I mean, sure, Gar's better at hiding that than the rest of them.
So, one of the interesting things in the very beginning, and which I thought worked well for this entire kind of episode at least, was the fact that when they heard somebody shoot a deer, they ran to it, and Raven was the one that was more protective of it, as opposed to Beast Boy, who actually changes into animals,
Animal, he can't change into something else yet.
Not yet, and I think
it's fair enough. Like, yes, he can have some progression with that going forward.
Yeah. So I mean, to me that makes sense because if this is just his beginning, like he only turns into a tiger because it was always his favorite. It was kind of like an emotion. It's like a fight or flight response. Like he loves tigers, and that's the quickest thing he could think of.
Yeah. Just quickly, chat. We're not talking about the team dynamics between like the difference between the Doom Patrol and the Titans. We're talking about like how the characters can,
their chemistry off of each other, as opposed to like
sure we haven't seen them all together yet, but
we've seen Raven,
Starfire and Dick are kind of the same. They're not. You could interchange them. Whatever.
I'm pretty sure we've had more time with Starfire, Raven, and Grayson all together than the Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
And in that one episode, I felt like the Doom Patrol was they felt like it was more enjoyable to watch them.
Yeah.
But
I have one minor complaint with this episode. When you first see Elastigirl in her room, and she's just that like gelatinous blob, and it's moving, the shot hangs on it for about 15 seconds too long.
It felt weird. Yeah.
It's just like, did you forget the edit? Like, then it just kind of happens. It's like, okay, but that's like the only. No, it kind of speaks to the episode, but that's the only thing I can really kind of pick out. The rest of it just like, eh.
Yeah. So the show was the best show. The only good show, as Mitchell stated, of Titans. I thought the other three were fine, but definitely you could tell there is a change of. What's the word I'm looking for? There's a change of. That's what I'm looking for. Like, just how good.
There's a creative difference.
No, not even just that. Of just like. What's the word I'm looking for? There's a word of like how good something is.
Quality.
Yeah, exactly. There's a change in quality. I couldn't even think of quality for some reason. But there's a change in quality, you could easily tell, from the other three to this one. And, like I said, the other three were fine for me personally, but I just would love to see Titans. And it's not even like, oh, they were more happy or it was brighter in that sense. That's not even what like changed it for me. It was the way that the story kind of set up. So like I said, with the deer thing, Raven was the one that was most protective of it. Everybody sees her as like the devil, but she's actually really has a good heart. That showed it. Dick, he's kind of screwed up. Grayson, he starts beating up that guy's dad, and he's like, you could tell something's coming over him. So it's like, that's something you saw more in this than in the other episodes. So it's like, that you had in the other episodes, but it didn't come off as much. As opposed to this one.
Also, like, it's an unfortunate thing. Like, I've said for the last 3 episodes, the girl who plays Raven can't act.
100%. Yeah, I feel sorry. I'm sorry.
In this one, when you have the Doom Patrol actors are so good. Like, even like just the guys who play Robot Man and Miss Negative, like, obviously they're not the voice actors, but like their like stand-ins are just so good, and it really emphasizes that she's not. Like, when she's looking through the window, you could just see her thought process of, oh, I have to raise my eyebrow now. It's like, no, it's like, just don't hang on her face. You can see the wheels turning. It's not good. Like, she has the potential to be really good, but as it stands right now, you probably should have cast a little older and a bit more experienced. Because
Yeah. So with that, I think we're pretty much gonna end it here because we talked a good amount. We went on for like an hour 10, so we try not to stay too long for an hour. But if it happens, it happens. Like I said. Hopefully next week I finish Sabrina, which I probably will. One episode in, I was super into it. I was like,
I'll tell you right now, it's surprisingly enjoyable. I kind of want the second part now.
I think because of how much of a not smart ass, but Sabrina is very like witty. From the first episode, it feels like she's witty.
Yeah, she does. Yeah,
like
and also like I don't know, like the aunts, like Hilda and Zelda, like they're really cool as well.
Yeah, they're cool. They're cool. I don't know how much the cousin stays, but he's in
it the entire.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is gonna be interesting to talk about, and also, of course, Titans again next week, and hopefully catch up on Supergirl and Legends. A lot of TV shows to watch, so I'm gonna try to catch up on that. I'm not gonna 100% because I'm gonna prioritize Titans and Sabrina. So,
I mean, to be fair, Sabrina's only 10 episodes, so if you do an hour a day, you'll be fine.
Yeah, so I'm going to try for that. So, with that, we will see y'all next time.
Toodles!